Do these 5 things and watch how you get and stay healthy, even on social media. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the DMC Wellness Wave. I'm your host, Matt Dawkins, and today we're going to talk about staying healthy on social media. When we talk about social media, a lot of the things that immediately come to mind are people getting off of social media for this reason and that. The fact that it feels like some of us, our worlds revolve around social media, and it's this thing that we can get lost into. We escape to when life gets boring or challenging or confusing, that we find refuge in social media and mindless scrolling. Whether you are looking for a relationship or you are just looking to escape the one you're in, social media has become this really, really massive concept in our lives. And so as a parent, I'm thinking about my kids, because I know what I've seen on social that makes me nervous that they might stumble upon social media and discover things, see things that I don't want them to see yet. When I think about how sometimes it ruins my productivity, I think social media is something that we should talk about. I've got some crazy statistics I want to share, and then I've got 5 really, quick sort of hacks and concepts that we can talk about when it comes to social. And I think that we all come out on the other end significantly healthier, or at least with the potential to become significantly healthier when it comes to social media. And so what qualifies me to talk about this? Well, last year I posted about 40,000 posts with Dawkins Media Company. That's the math. So it is a little bit of my world, whether that's websites, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn, you name it. That is sort of the world that I live in. And I have a personal mission to make the world a better place through the digital doorways of health-minded businesses. So for the businesses that we work with, that's our end game, is we want to help them tell a better story and change their world and have a positive impact on their world, and using me through social media. And so again, it's a crazy world. Here's some statistics for you. Let's talk about the cell phone real quick. So one thing is 97% of kids in America have access to a cell phone. And that's not that crazy. Your kids are better on your phone than you are, right? Another statistic, the average teenager in America sends or receives 67 text messages a day. Who are they texting? Who is texting them? Anxiety is starting to rise up in me. And then to me, this one's crazy. The average kid in America gets a cell phone at the age of 10 years old. And so, I can't say that my 10-year-old will not have a cell phone, because that's 3 years out for me. I've got a 7, 5, 3, and 1-year-old. I'd like to say, no way, but who knows? Maybe they will when they're 10. But hopefully my kids understand these things that I'm about to share with you when it comes to social media and just all things social, right? Because that's really what we're talking about today. It's all things social, but we're going to focus in on social media. A couple more statistics when we talk about social media, and I got these written down. 37% of people on social media report feeling FOMO, right? Because we're exposed to more going on, we feel like we're missing out on more things, right? That's real. I think you guys can relate. I think the statistic is a lot higher than 37%. Here's another one. 63% of parents believe social media is harmful to their children's mental health. Why do parents feel that way? Because parents have experienced that damage to their own mental health because of social media, right? 2 more. 32% of teenagers report being cyberbullied. And so because it's so much easier to attack someone else with the insulation of a virtual subtweet, as we used to call it, right? I'm going to say something about you in a way that you can't hit me back. But who knows, words are powerful, and there are more opportunities now than ever before for me to attack someone else on social media. And then finally, 40% of people on social media report feeling anxious or depressed after using it. Think about that. Almost half the people who use social media are sadder, are more anxious, are more depressed on the other side of the mindless scrolling. So, is it something we should talk about? Social media? Yes, absolutely. And I want to start with this almost as a disclaimer that for many of us, if we want to end every war in the world, if we want to bring peace on earth, if we want to cease all striving and comparison and everything that's wrong with the world, for many of us, we just need to put our phone down. And so maybe that's you. Maybe these next 5 things are worth listening to, but maybe you just go ahead and stop right now and say, you know what? He's right. I need to take a little break for me. And in that break, I need to work on me. It's not social media necessarily that's ruining this. It's my relationship with it, and it's how much on a pedestal I'll put it and the people that I see on it, right? So you put that phone down and you work on you. But these 5 things, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, these 5 things can still help you even if you go ahead and commit right now to taking a break from social media. So having said all that, let's get into these 5 things. And I like acronyms. So this is about Insta Health. Insta Health. INSTA. Health. So these 5 things, you do these 5 things, and I'm guaranteeing you're on your way to getting and staying healthy even while on social media. So number 1, letter I, identify the real problem. So I just mentioned a whole bunch of stuff, but what you have to do is some soul searching to ask yourself, what is causing the negativity? Is it comparison? Are you seeing things you don't have that you really want? And all it's doing is fueling your desire to have things that maybe you're not ready for, or have things that other people have. Is jealousy a real thing? Is pride a real thing? Is comparison causing negativity in your life? Or, as you guys know, the eyes are the windows of the soul. Are you seeing things that you shouldn't be seeing, looking at things you shouldn't be looking at, that are causing a dirty, sort of corrupt feeling inside of you that makes your stomach hurt? And that's what's causing the issue. If you don't identify the real issue, then you certainly can't pursue a solution. And putting the phone down may be dealing with a symptom, but not the real cause. First thing you got to do is identify the real problem. Letter N is no filters. When I say no filters, I think sometimes we try to project, and this is probably some of our issues, is we're seeing highlights from our friends and family and people that we respect and admire. We're not seeing the lowlights, but we're comparing our lowlights to their highlights. And so the temptation is to then only show our highlights and only get our best sides out there, and even in some cases, there's a statistic on the number of teenage girls. I think it's 60% of teenage girls have used a filter before the age of 13 on social media, because I can change the way I look. Instead of portraying who I really am, I'm projecting who I want to be. And I think there's a danger to that in the way that we communicate and we share. So letter N, no filter. Letter S, share your story. I think that as we talk about contributing and making the world a better place when it comes to social media, one of the best things you can do is play offense. Some of us are just playing defense, and all we're doing is going on and we're consuming and we're taking in, versus put something positive out there, sharing your story, making it a better place for the people that in your life that you love around you. That you can do that. Share your story, play offense. We're going to talk about that more on the next episode. But identify the real problem, no filters, share your story. Letter T, tell the algorithm what you want to see. So this one's more tactical, but did you know the algorithm is not a mystery? It's actually pretty simple. And for most people, the algorithm is dictated by you, by what you click on, by what you show interest in, by what you like, what you comment on, what you share out there, what you search for. The algorithm is listening, and that might sound scary, but primarily it's listening to the keys that you're hitting when you're typing in this topic or that topic, or clicking on this thing that you're interested in, or that thing, right? If you never search and you never do anything, there is an aspect to the algorithm where it's going to show you what's trending. But for most of us, what it's showing you is more of what you have told it you want to see. So how do you play offense with telling the algorithm what you want to see? Number one, search for things that you want to see more of, and think about it before you type it into the search, right? Also, on every single picture on Facebook or Instagram, there are 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner that you can click on, and tell it you want to see less things like that post, like that ad, like that person, like that image with someone that doesn't have the shirt on, like that image of something gross and maybe is sensitive content, right? You can tell it you want to see less things like that. So that's playing defense. Playing offense by searching for people that are going to be life-giving when you have the conversation versus people that are going to be life-taking and make you feel worse after being on social media. Tell the algorithm what you want to see. And finally, letter A is accountability. This is maybe the simplest but most difficult thing that you can do when it comes to social media. But this is true, I would say for me, and I would say for any of the people in my life that I love. This is something that I encourage, is make sure you have accountability on social media. That means, very practically, make sure someone in your life that you love and trust, that has your back, also has your password to your Instagram, to your Facebook. So they have access not just to see your feed, but to see what you've searched for, to see what you have engaged with, so they can see what your algorithm looks like based on what you've told it you want to see, right? Have some accountability. And if you do these things, you scroll differently. It's not mindless anymore. It's not as negative. Now that let's run back through the list. You've identified the real problem, so you know how to navigate going forward. No filters. You're sharing your real life and you're sharing your story, right? You're telling the algorithm what you want to see, which you have way more control than you realize. And then you got accountability so that you know that it's in the dark where things fester. And when you're not known, when there's secrets in your life, that's where bad things grow. But when you shine light into social media, that's when things begin to change for the better. Do these 5 things and watch how you get and stay healthy, even on social media. Remember, for some of you, it wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and put the phone down, to cancel the accounts for a little bit, maybe shut them down altogether permanently. Take a few months, take a year, and identify the real problem. Right? Pull back the layers to see who you really are. Tell your story to friends in person. Don't count on social media to be the only platform where you get social, right? And just like we can tell the algorithm what we want, we can tell God what we really want. And no one does a better job for us in our lives of putting the right people in the right place at the right time, to giving us the right relationships, to guarding our eyes and our soul, to making sure that we are doing exactly what we were created to do. No one does a better job of that than God. And so have a conversation with God. Tell God what you really want. The mountains become molehills, and the things that we wrestled with become trivial. And we have the ability now, through accountability, to be doing life and sharing life with real people, real time, face to face. So that's it. I wanted to share that with you guys. Let's get and stay healthy together. Let's keep the wave of wellness going, and we'll see you on the next episode.